You dropped a bill to repeal Common Core. Why did you sponsor it, and what feedback are you receiving?
Well, I sponsored it because some parents came to me with their concerns about the amount of time that was being spent on testing in their children's classrooms. And they were also concerned about some of the curricular changes that they had seen. So I started talking about it with other legislators and digging into the research a little bit, and decided to run a bill, even though it's kind of late in the session to get one started. And I have 21 people came forward and co-sponsored the bill. There's a lot of interest out there. And at the same time, interestingly, a Democrat in the Senate has dropped a very similar bill to fully repeal Common Core and associated tests. Basically, it would ratchet us back one notch to the ELERS, which is the learning requirements that we used to do before we implemented Common Core.
Before session, you were contacted by a constituent with a bill idea. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it turns out that sometimes an online company, a large company, will masquerade as a small local company. They might even create a name like Arlington Flowers, for example, and then instead of using their 1-800 number in their advertising online or in the phone book, they use a local sounding number starting with 360, for example. So what happens then is when the customer calls and orders flowers, they think that they're calling a little local shop, but it's actually being routed through that 1-800 phone bank in another state. And then it gets, the order gets routed to the local shop, and the local shop is then responsible for delivering it. But maybe it's an hour away. I mean, maybe the Arlington shop has to deliver out in Darrington or something, and there's no way for them to recoup that cost. So it's already against our state law to do that kind of misleading advertising in phone books. What my bill does is it simply adds "or online," so it kind of modernizes and brings it up to date. So the great news is this little bill got a lot of wide bipartisan support. Everybody agreed in committee that this was a good thing, and it passed unanimously out of committee, headed to rules. It's now been pulled out of rules, and it's on the floor calendar, which means it could be voted on any day.
Now that session is off and running, update us on how things are going.
Well, thanks for asking. This has been a really fun session so far. We're at the end of week 6, and so far 9 of my bills, I've had about 22 bills proposed, and 9 of them have received hearings, so I'm happy about that. This particular week we've had a lot of visitors from the district, school kids, homeschooled kids, people coming down from the cities and counties. So it's been really fun to visit with so many of you this week, and I hope that a lot of you will continue to come visit. We've still got a long way to go till the end of April, which is when session is scheduled to end. And I would love to have you come down, visit the office, take a tour, and give us a call if you can't make the trip. We'd still like to hear what your thoughts are and what kind of bills you're following and what would help make your life easier.